Iverson's in the news, but not for good things. Not for good things. He had a bad day at charity. He was in Melbourne, and he was supposed to be over there to talk to some kids. And I guess he talked for like 7 minutes and left. They said his behavior was unacceptable. His excuse was he's having a bad day. He was having a bad day. And I don't know what all it entailed. I just know their side of the story. I didn't hear Allen Iverson's side of the story. So I'm not going to sit and say, okay, Allen Iverson is this bad guy who don't care about kids who have cancer. I'm not going to do that. Because here's the thing we got to understand. For these celebrities, for these athletes, they get paid to do something, show up, whatever the case may be. We look at that as an opportunity to get our chance to see these players. We look at it as something they should feel like they should always be excited about. And I'm not making any excuses for them, but what I am saying is like a bad day could potentially have happened. These guys have a job where anything can be happening with you off the court. Your wife tripping, your kids sick, your financial advisor stole money from you, and you got to still go out there and be this guy. You still got to go out there and be this guy. You got to smile. You got to smile in front of all these people when the average human can make a phone call, hey, I can't come in today. I'm sick. And have time to themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe he could have canceled. I think his team should have probably checked in with him. But who knows? It might have been something that happened on the way over that may have triggered him or might have killed his mood. But he showed up. So hopefully they resolve it. But we got to stop pretending like these guys are not human. Austin Rivers. Did you see the video about Austin Rivers, E?
No, I didn't see the video of Austin Rivers.
Okay, let me help you. Austin Rivers, I'm a fan of Austin Rivers. I like what Austin Rivers is doing. He had a podcast called Off Guard, and he came on his story and was saying he's shutting the podcast down. He's shutting the podcast down, bro. He said, and in short, he says his hot takes can be confusing to the people who we want to do business with. And he said other things, but I'm gonna speak to that first. I agree with him. Now, when I first started this brand, we started with the merch. We was doing the merch. I wanted to tell stories. I do tell stories. We tell stories. You go look at the Brian Crown story. We do also do animations on the Score Society page, all the Score Society pages. But when you do hot takes, like if I say LeBron is the best player of all time, guys, I mean that's not a hot take. I'm trying to think off the top of the head, but I couldn't really flow. But guys would be like, yo, you like LeBron, you must hate Jordan. I don't like your podcast. I don't want to buy your merch no more because you don't like Jordan. Nah, bro. Like I got Jordan shoes, all that stuff, bro. I watch all the games you watch. I'm just saying that I'm just a little bit more impressed with this young man is doing right now. So, I'm just making content based around it. You're glazing. Like, yo, chill, bro. It ain't even that deep. Jordan, my number 2. I don't know why he gotta be my number 1 for you to like me. Like, we gotta like the same food too. You know what I'm saying? So, I get him. Then he was talking about like just building his brand in the NBA. Like he's an analyst, and you know, if he's on his podcast and he's talking about a GM and what a GM should do and the mistake a GM made, he don't want to go in that room and shake hands. You gotta go shake hands, and the GM looking at him like, yo, wasn't you just telling me I was doing a bad job at my job? Wasn't you covering that? So I get it. I totally get it. You trying to build your relationship. Then the other part of it is that I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know every NBA player's financial situation, I don't even know how much they pay these guys to do these podcasts. You know, we growing. We growing over here. We building. We going to get to that bag. But for them, they already built their brand. They built their brand since they was in college to the NBA. So people want to naturally hear what they got to say. But I don't know if they all have to do it. I don't think they all have to do it. I think it's just something, an extra bag. So if you're trying to build something stronger off the court, I understand, and you already got your bag. You already made millions. You got millions probably saved up or whatever. I probably wouldn't do it that much either. Or wouldn't want to do it in this way either, because it just wouldn't make too much sense. It wouldn't make too much sense for a person with millions of dollars to be on here bashing or talking or hot taking it with players they got to see and sit next to. You ain't gonna get far like that. So shout out to Austin Rivers, man. Austin Rivers, you know, I ran into him at the Rico Hines runs a couple years back. Talked to him for a little bit about his mixtape days. It seems like a good guy. Didn't come off like a, you know, on some snobby, you know, he ain't come off like that. He just shook my hand. We talked a little bit. And we just kept it moving. You know, I'd love to have him on the show, but, you know, if he ain't doing podcasting no more, I respect it. But shout out to him. Another thing, right? I'm watching NBA kids on YouTube. It's like a channel. I forget the channel name. I wish I remember. I would have shouted you guys out. But they show you all the NBA players' sons. And it made me think like, damn, I know they dads are in the NBA, right? So they're gifted in some ways, like height sometimes. But all of them flourishing. All of them are pretty good. That ain't something we always saw. That's not something that you always seen in the NBA growing up. And it made me think like, if I was an NBA dad, but what do an NBA dad do differently than the average dad? Now, I don't have all the answers, but I have interviewed guys like Samaki Walker, whose son is in the NBA, Jabari Walker. I have interviewed guys like Scoop Jardine, Syracuse legend, whose son now plays like 13U or 12U or something like that. And I can tell you, my man Greg Smith has a daughter who is really good. And I've asked them, what are you doing differently than the average kid or the average parent? And here's what they all have in common. Number one, they don't allow their kid to be part of the hype. Oh, look, he's ranked number 2. He's a third grader. He's ranked number 2 in the city. Okay. What does that mean? Like, what is that? That doesn't mean anything. That's just an ego stroke. So they don't let that get to them. Second, they simplify the game. The stuff your kid don't want to do, like dribble pull up with the right footwork, with the right rhythm into a shot. And they're just doing that religiously, constantly, like it's until it's second nature. The stuff your kids I've trained kids and I'll be like, yo, we're going to shoot 20 right hand pull-ups coming down. They'll make like 4 and be like, can I step back too? Nah, bruh. They make like 4 more. Now they dropping their arm. Nah, bruh. Keep that arm up. Now it's a battle because they're making it, right? So they're looking at me like, yo, come on, man, let me do me. And you like, bro, it ain't about that. You gonna have that time. I'm telling you, all that stuff is gonna come. You just gotta focus on the repetition right now. The NBA kids don't mind that. They also know how to calm their kids' ego down. While your kid searching for 4, 5, 6 different teams, 8 different teams, their kid is on 1, maybe 2. While your kid is skipping out on practice, I can't. They're doing practice and training. Training, practice, train again. While your kid making a shoot, I can't come to practice. I got homework. They're working out in the morning, school, tutor, train before practice, train. Do it again tomorrow morning. 2 practices, 2 trainings a day sometimes. Talk to Stephen Graham. Stephen Graham used to play in the NBA as well. Dad would wake him up, him and his brother Joey Graham, NBA. So the stuff that your kids don't want to do, they telling their kids, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you get it done. Another thing that they do is they understand the process. They understand it's not going to take 3 months to get better. They understand this is a journey. They understand this is a lifelong commitment. They understand that. They're not looking at, oh, he didn't score this, he didn't score. They're looking at the movement. They're looking at the confidence. They're looking at what shots did he take? How did he view the game? What's his mentality before the game, after the game? They want to know those things. While you going to get some ice cream, they're like, no, we're not getting no ice cream, bro. Let's go shoot. While you thinking that's cruel, they understand the mission. They understand there's a process. They understand that. They also understand that who they hang with, who their children hang with is important. Is important. You can't hang with a guy like if I'm a basketball player, I can't hang with a guy like E. E was riding skateboards. You gonna mess me up. Yo, Sean, come out. We on skate. Yo, you always training. Come on, I got a birthday party. Actually, Mom, can we go play date? They like, nah, we don't do all that. We do it sometimes. They treat it like a business. This is the day he's open. February 12th, 12 o'clock to 1 p.m. Would you like to have play date then? What? What's February 12th? I don't know. I gotta ask. Well, that's the time he has available. So I just want to give you guys some game. I always gotta speak to the parents. I always gotta speak to the kids. Every episode we have, because it's important to me. I work with kids. I work with parents, and I feel like as a coach, I have a responsibility to at least guide both kid and parents in some way, whether it's the motion, whether it's where the game is going, no matter what it is. Just want to be helpful. All right, let's get into some NBA. Now, I got my guy here, E. As you all probably know, he's a Lakers fan, and he's a big Dalton Connect fan. He's how do you feel that Dalton Connect is asking for a trade. He demands a trade right now.
If you want, I really got no strong feelings towards it. If they want to trade him, they could trade him. As long as we get a nice young piece back, a nice young usable piece back.
Do you think he was treated fairly when he got traded, and then they traded him back? Because I think Mark Williams, his physical wasn't right.
I think it's just the nature of the game. I don't know why that physical didn't go through, but because now Mark Williams, he's balling in Phoenix. And he seems pretty healthy too, so I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll say this. Good riddance. No, I'm joking. Dalton Connect, he's in a tough spot. I liked him for University of Tennessee. Obviously, he can ball. He shows signs of that last year. But to be honest, he's definitely a trading piece, right? He can go to someone's bench. He can go to. I mean, I want to see him get a fair shot, and I like a good underdog story. I want to see him get a shot and average like 17 points next year or something. I'm one of them guys. Like, I'm really big on that type of stuff. I'm big on that, man, and I enjoy that. So I say, man, Dalton Connect deserves a trade. He's older, he's talented, and you want to squeeze the lemon out of the juice, no pun intended. Yeah, you see how I did that? You see how I did that? You see the billboards out there with the lemons, and they got Dalton Connect? Yeah. So you want to squeeze the lemon out of the juice. Listen, that's off the top of the head. I don't want to show too much skills. But anywho, yeah, I think he should get a trade. I think it's hard to play under those conditions. Like, when somebody don't want you. Like, you think about this, E. Like, think about this. Imagine you dating a girl, right? And she break up with you, right? And she tell you why she broke up with you. Like, yeah, I'm just seeing, I just want to see other people. I don't think we a good fit. I like you. I think you're a good person. I wish you nothing but the best, right? And then she go out there and she start dating this guy, and this guy broke her heart. And then she come back to you. You know what? I was tripping. I was wilding. I didn't know what I had in front of me. That's crazy. And I just want to make this work. How you feel about that?
But I already moved on. You feel me? It's like,
there you go. That's how his head probably. That's how he was in his mind. All right, moved on, man. I'm here. Because I got to be here contractually. But realistically, I know how y'all dudes feel about me. So, shout out Dalton Connect.